Hello students, welcome to time classes. Today's topic is coordinate geometry part 1. Handout code is QAHO 3571725. I hope everybody has the correct handout code. Now I divided this class into different sections. First we'll be learning about coordinate axis, x-axis and y-axis both. Then distance formula. Third, section formula. We'll be doing question also on the same. Fourth, area of the triangle. If vertices are given, area of a triangle, how do we find? And then collinear points. What is the definition for collinear points and what are the basic conditions for that? Moving further, we divide our plane by two axes. One is x-axis, that is horizontal, and y-axis at right angle to x-axis. Any point on x-axis has y coordinate equal to 0. So we can also say equation of x-axis is y equal to 0. You move wherever on x-axis, y coordinate is 0. On y-axis, x coordinate of any point is 0. So equation of y-axis becomes x equal to 0. And the point at which these two axes meet is called origin. Its coordinate is 0, 0. Then these two axes divide the system into 4 quadrants. First quadrant, as shown, has x coordinate as positive as well as y coordinate as positive. This is our first quadrant. Second quadrant, x coordinate becomes negative because we move to the left side of the origin, but y coordinate is positive. As long as we are above x-axis, y is positive. Once we go below x-axis, y becomes negative. So first quadrant has both x coordinate as well as y coordinate positive. Second quadrant has x coordinate negative, y coordinate positive. Third quadrant, both x coordinate as well as y coordinate are negative. As you move to the left side of the y-axis, you will be getting x coordinate as negative. And once you move below the x-axis, you are getting y coordinate as negative. And in fourth quadrant, we had x coordinate as positive and y coordinate as negative. The basic diagram. So these two axes divide this plane into 4 quadrants. First quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant and fourth quadrant. So if suppose x coordinate is given as negative and y coordinate is given as positive, so we can say that the point lies in second quadrant. If x is positive but y is negative, we can safely say point lies in the fourth quadrant. Moving further, x coordinate is also termed as abscissa. Y coordinate is also called as ordinate. And whenever we denote a point, we write first x coordinate, that is abscissa, comma followed by y coordinate. Basic description, any point, suppose point is given as 2, 3. So 2 is for x coordinate, 3 is for y coordinate. X coordinate is also called abscissa and y coordinate is also called as ordinate. This we already discussed. First quadrant, x is positive, y is positive, again repeating. Second quadrant, x is negative, y is positive. Third quadrant, x is negative, y is negative, less than 0. Fourth quadrant, x is positive, y is less than 0. Point P, x comma y. Now, how do we write coordinates of origin? Origin 0, 0. So x coordinate is 0, y coordinate is also 0. In this manner we write origin coordinates. Coordinate of any point on x-axis is x comma 0, whereas coordinate of any point on y-axis is 0 comma y. We can also say equation of x-axis is y equal to 0 and equation of y-axis is x equal to 0. Because you move anywhere on y-axis, x coordinate by default is 0. Now moving further, distance formula. Suppose a point A is given whose x coordinate is x1 and y coordinate is y1. That means this point A from origin to its right, it is x1 unit, and upward from origin it's y1 plus unit. So its coordinates are x1 comma y1. Another point is given as B whose x coordinate is x2 and y coordinate is y2. So can we say this vertical distance, that is BC, is actually y2 minus y1, because y coordinate for C is same as y coordinate of A. It's a horizontal line parallel to x-axis. We can safely say BC is equal to y2 minus y1. And similarly we can say this AC is x2. x2 is a x coordinate of C, x2 minus x1. Now angle between x-axis and y-axis is a right angle. So since AC is parallel to x-axis and BC is parallel to y-axis, so angle between them is also a right angle. So if we apply a basic theorem called Pythagoras theorem, that is AB square is equal to AC square plus BC square. So we get length of AB. This is a basic distance formula. AB is equal to, if 2 points are given, their coordinates are given, so AB is x2 minus x1 ka whole square plus y2 minus y1 ka whole square root. That's called distance formula. So moving to questions. Question number 1. It says the distance between the points. Now coordinate are given. First point is cos theta, comma sin theta. And second coordinate is given as second point sin theta, comma minus cos theta is. The question asks for distance between the 2 points. Now how do we find distance between two coordinates? We just know the formula, that is d is equal to under root of x2 minus x1 ka whole square plus y2 minus y1 ka whole square root. If we say the distance between 2 points, one point is x1 comma y1, another point is x2 comma y2, is under root of x1 minus x2 ka whole square plus y1 minus y2 ka whole square. Here x1 and x2 are cos theta and sin theta, that means x coordinate of both the points, and y1 and y2 are correspondingly y coordinate. First point is sin theta and second is minus cos theta. So if we substitute these values into this formula, so we will get the distance between the 2 points. So can we apply, that is cos theta minus sin theta whole square plus sin theta minus of minus cos theta becomes plus cos theta, sin theta plus cos theta ka whole square. So when we expand this, it becomes cos square theta plus sin square theta minus 2 sin theta cos theta, and second bracket gives sin square theta plus cos square theta plus 2 sin theta cos theta. Now this plus 2 AB part, that is minus 2 sin theta cos theta and plus 2 sin theta cos theta, will cancel out. So we'll be getting this equation as this further as under root of twice of sin square theta plus cos square theta. Now one basic identity we know, sin square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1. So can we say when sin square theta plus cos square theta is 1, so we get the result as under root 2 units. That is sin square theta plus cos square theta equal to 1. So distance between the 2 points comes out to be under root 2 units. Now let's look at the options, look at the choices. Choice 1 is 1 unit, choice B is 2 units, choice C is 1 by root 2 unit, and choice D is root 2 units. So my answer comes out to be choice D. So we use a basic application of the formula. Find distance between 2 points whose coordinates are given to us. So we use a basic formula. Let's move to question 2. It says the point on y-axis. We just learned any point on y-axis has x coordinate as 0, which is equidistant at equal distance from 2, 3 and 1, 4. That means this point is on y-axis, which is equidistant from 2, 3 and 1, 4. Let the point on y-axis be 0k. This is on y-axis. So if we use the distance formula, let the point on y-axis be 0, k. Its x coordinate is 0 and y coordinate is k. We required the value of k so that we could match our answer. So if we apply a distance formula is under root of x2 minus x1 ka whole square plus y2 minus y1 ka whole square root. So one side it's 2, 3, other side it's 1, 4. So if we apply the distance formula and we square both sides, so square root goes out. It becomes 0 minus 2 ka whole square plus k minus 3 ka whole square, which is equal to 0 minus 1 ka whole square plus k minus 4 ka whole square. We use the distance formula, we equate the two values and we square it. So square root goes out. Now we are again using a minus b ka whole square when we need to expand k minus 3 ka whole square. 0 minus 2 is minus 2, its square is 4. And 0 minus 1 is minus 1, its square is 1. When we expand k minus 3 ka whole square using a minus b ka whole square, so we are getting 4 for minus 2 ka square. K minus 3 ka whole square expansion is k square plus 9 minus 6k, that is minus 2ab. On right hand side it's 0 minus 1 ka square, that is 1, plus k minus 4 ka square, that is k square, plus 16 minus 2ab is minus 8k. Now it seems to be a quadratic equation, but it is not, because k square has same coefficient on both sides, so it will cancel out. K square goes out. One side it's minus 6k, other side is minus 8k. So when we bring minus 8k to the left hand side, so it becomes positive. 8k minus 6k become 2k. So on simplifying, left hand side constant value is 9 plus 4, that is 13, which goes on the right hand side becomes minus 30. And on right hand side constant value is 16 plus 1, that is 17. So on solving this expression, k square cancel out. Left hand side becomes 8k minus 6k, which is 2k, and right hand side 17 minus 13, which is 4. So 2k is equal to 4. We can safely say value of k comes out to be 2. Value of k comes out to be 2. So point becomes 0, 2. Why 0, 2? Because it lies on y-axis. Just look at the choices. First choice says 0, 4. Second choice says 0, 2, which matches with ours. Third choice 0 minus 4. Fourth is 0 minus 2. So answer is 0, 2. Choice B. That's our answer. I hope this is clear to everyone. We use basic, then expand, square, then a minus b ka whole square expansion we used, and we get a single value of k because the expression was not quadratic. It reduced to a linear. Then we move to another concept, another part segment, that's called section formula. Suppose a straight line is given and one end is A, other end is B. Coordinates of A are x1, y1 and coordinate of B are x2, y2. And there is a point P in between which divide this straight line in the ratio m is to n. Now this point P lies between AB. It lies between AB. So we require to find coordinates of P. So we have to apply a section formula which simply says it's an internal division. How do we find coordinate of P? it's m into x2, that means ratio multiplied by the coordinate at the other side, m into x2 plus n into x1 upon sum of the ratio m plus n. So we get x coordinate of p. Then m into y2 plus n into y1 upon m plus n. Then we get the y coordinate of p. So it's an internal division because point P lies inside A and B. I'm repeating once again. Formula, basic formula we have m into x2 plus n into x1 upon m plus n, m into y2 plus n into y1 upon m plus n. Now what happens if point P lies outside AB? It is not in between. Then that part we say it's an external division. Coordinate of A is x1 comma y1, coordinate of B is x2 comma y2, and we require to find coordinate of P. Now it is given as length of AP divided by length of BP is m is to n. Length of AP divided by length of BP is m is to n. Now point P lies outside, so we say it's an external division. So for us, what the formula we had in the beginning, only plus sign is replaced by minus sign. All values remain same. It's mx2 minus nx1 upon difference of the ratio m minus n. M into y2 minus n into y1 upon m minus n. Now this formula is applicable whenever it's external division. First formula is applicable when it's an internal division. Now how do we know that whether it's internal or external? We apply the first formula. If the value of the ratio comes out to be negative, that says that this point lies outside the join. So it's an external division. If it comes positive by applying the first formula, it's an internal division. That's why we say it's internal division or external division. Moving further, using the same formula, we had learned two formulas, one for internal division, another for external division. Internal division when point P lies inside, in external division when point P lies outside the join of the point. What do we require in this case to find the coordinate of P? Coordinate of A, coordinate of B, and the ratio in which it is divided. So these three things are required to find the coordinate of P. Now let's apply this in some questions. Now question 6 from your handout. Question says, if 3, 1 and 2, 4 are the points of trisection of the line joining the points, 2 points AB. I drawn a figure also. Trisection means these 2 points divide the line into 3 equal parts. They trisect the line. And you have to find the distance between A and B, that is the whole line. Can we do one thing? If we found out the distance between these 2 points, that is 1/3 of AB, because they divide into 3 equal parts. So multiplied by 3 gives me the length of AB. Can be done. So we thought in this manner. 3, 1 and 2, 4 are the points of the trisection of the line joining 2 points A and B. Then the distance between A and B is to be figured out. All options are irrational. That means root remains. Now, how do you proceed? First, we write mark the points P and Q. Coordinate of P is 3, 1. 3 is x coordinate, 1 is y coordinate. And coordinate of Q is 2, 4. It says, let P 3, 1 and Q 2, 4 be the points of trisection. Trisection, as explained, divide the line into 3 equal parts. Lengths are equal of AB. And we have to find the distance between AB, length of AB. So somehow we will find the length of PQ, and then thrice of this will be the length of AB. Now PQ, if we apply the formula, same under root of x2 minus x1 ka square plus y2 minus y1 ka whole square. That is 3 minus 2 is 1. 1 ka square is 1. Plus 1 minus 4 is minus 3. Its square is 9. So 1 plus 9 inside the square root, it becomes root 10. So we can safely say length of PQ is under root 10. Length of PQ is under root 10. So can we say length of AB is thrice of PQ? As simple. Length of AB is thrice of PQ and PQ is root 10. So AB is thrice of PQ. Thrice of PQ means 3 root 10. So what does the question asking for? The question was asking for distance between A and B and the point of transection was given. So we straight away got our answer. If we check the choices, all choices contain root 10. By default we have. So our answer comes out to be choice D. Answer is choice D. I hope this is clear. Question number 4th. Again we are using the section formula. Now it says the ratio in which a point -2 and -9. Now -2 and -9 both coordinates are negative. So in which quadrant it will be? It should be in third quadrant. X coordinate negative, Y coordinate negative. This point divides the line segment joining 1, 3 and 2, 7. Now 1, 3 and 2, 7 both lies in the first quadrant. So if somehow we just take it, let's take an internal division. Let's see what comes. So we, first of all, what we do? We draw a diagram. We draw a basic line. That is, we draw a point 1, 3. Line, one side is 1, 3. Other side is 2, 7. And the coordinate of a point, that is -2, -9, is inside between the line. And we assume, let this coordinate -2, -9 divide this join in A:1, A ratio 1. Let the ratio be A:1. Then we wish to apply the section formula and we require value of A. If A:1 value of A comes out to be positive, it's an internal division. If value of A comes out to be negative, it's an external division. Two options are talking about internal division and ratios are just swapped. And two options are talking about external division, ratios are just swapped. So answer by default would be 3:4, 4:3. Out of these two, one would be the answer. Internally and externally we have to check. Let the ratio be A:1. Moving further, as we apply section formula, 1 into 1 plus A into 2 upon A plus 1. This should be equal to x coordinate of the point, that is -2. Simple expression. 1 into 1 section formula, m into x2 plus n into x1 upon m plus n. 1 into 1 plus 2 into a upon a plus 1 should be equal to -2. Now we just cross multiply. 1 into 1 is 1, 2 into a is 2a, and when a plus 1 goes to the right hand side, it will get multiplied with -2. So it becomes 1 plus 2a is equal to -2a minus 2. Now this -2a comes to the left hand side, 2a plus 2a becomes 4a, and 1 goes to the right hand side, -2 minus 1 becomes -3. So this expression becomes 4a equal to -3. This equation becomes 4a equal to -3. And when we divide by 4, a comes out to be -3 by 4. Minus sign is actually showing that it's an external division. So required ratio is A:1 and value of A is -3 by 4 is to 1. So if we multiply it by 4 both sides, it becomes -3 is to 4. Minus sign is showing an external division. So 3 is to 4, ratio divide 3 is to 4, but externally. So since it's externally, so our answer has to be among C and D. Now 3 is to 4, it matches with option C. So our answer comes out to be option C. I hope this is clear. If value of A would have been positive, then it would be an internal division. If it is negative, then it would be external division. So in this case, it is external division, 3 is to 4. Choice is C. One can assume it initially also. The line joining point 1, 3 and 2, 7. 1, 3 and 2, 7 both lies in the first quadrant. And the point which divides this joint lies in the third quadrant. So it cannot be internally in any of the case. It has to be externally. So suppose among the options, 3 options are saying internally and 1 option has an externally, then we would straight away mark the answer externally. It depends upon coordinates, which coordinates are given. But in this case, it comes out to be an external division. Moving ahead. It says the line segment, question number 5. The line segment joining the point S -4 and -3 -4, -3 lies in the third quadrant, and -1, 2, I just drawn the diagram also, -1, 2 lies in the second quadrant, is divided by x-axis in the ratio. One thing is for sure, whatever the ratio may be, it has to be internal, not external. We just see the figure. Let's apply what we learned till now. By using the same logic we apply. We have drawn the point. When you draw the coordinates, the figure becomes much simpler. Two options you straight away ruled out. That means it has to be an internal division, not external division. The learning, we can directly say. The line segment joining is -4, -3 and -1, 2 is divided by x-axis in the ratio. Which ratio it is divided by the x-axis? We need to find. Okay. Let's start. Let the 2 points -4, -3 and -1, 2 is divided by x-axis in the ratio lambda is to 1, a is to 1, whatever you want to assume, you can assume. But we know any point on x-axis, then the required point ordinate, that is y coordinate on x-axis, is definitely 0. This we'll learn in the very first few slides. Any point on x-axis has y coordinate as 0. Any point on y-axis has x coordinate as 0. So we are starting with the same values. Let the 2 points -4, -3 and -1, 2 be divided by x-axis in the ratio lambda is to 1. Lambda is to 1, we need to find the value of lambda. Then the required point ordinate will be 0. That's sure because it lies on x-axis. So apply. Its y coordinate 0, so we apply for y coordinate. Lambda into 2 plus 1 into -3, that becomes -3 upon lambda plus 1 equal to 0. Now whatever the value of lambda, it has to be lambda plus 1. When it goes to the right hand side, multiplied by 0, it becomes 0. So -3 plus lambda into 2 upon lambda plus 1 equal to 0. When we simplify this, lambda plus 1 goes to 0. It becomes lambda is equal to 3 by 2. Now since it's positive, lambda is to 1 is 3 is to 2 internally. Now internally we know before starting the question, because we just imagine the points in x-axis. One point lies in third quadrant, other point lies in second quadrant. So line has to be joining in this particular manner. It is divided by x-axis. The point has to be between the join of these 2 points. So option B and option D are straight away ruled out before starting the question. I hope this is clear. So lambda is to 1 is 3 is to 2 internally. Now which option choice it is? It is choice A. So we marked our answer as choice A. I hope this is clear. Moving further. Now we move to next segment. Suppose a triangle is given. A triangle has 3 vertices ABC and their points are given as capital A, capital B and capital C. Let the coordinate of AB x1, y1, coordinate of BB x2, y2 and coordinate of C is x3, y3. Now I need to find the area of this triangle. How do we find the area of this triangle? We had a very simple expression. It's A, area is equal to half, then bracket. We had a variable multiplied by another bracket. X remains outside and inside its y coordinate. And we follow a cyclic order 1, 2, 3. 1 by 2 x1, then y2 minus y3 plus x2, then y3 minus y1 plus x3 y1 minus y2. Please maintain the cyclic order. X is outside the bracket and y, difference of y, is inside the bracket. I'm repeating it once again, easy to memorize. It's half x1 y2 minus y3 plus x2 y3 minus y1 plus x3 y1 minus y2. In this way we can find the area of a triangle. Now area of a triangle, whenever you are calculating by using the coordinates given, then make sure that it comes out to be positive. If it is negative, remove the negative sign, take value as positive. But if you are taking area from a value from a question, then you have to consider both plus and minus sign, both. It may be plus sign as well as minus. Area is positive. So whenever you're solving, if you are getting positive value, it's perfectly fine. If you are getting it negative, so we consider only the positive value. But if we are taking from a question, suppose area of a triangle is 10, we are solving an equation, then we take both sides plus 10 and minus 10, because that point may be up also of the BC, it may be below the BC also. Then there is another formula for area also, that's simple. Say half x1 minus x2, then y1 minus y2, and x2 minus x3, y2 minus y3. We can use this formula also. We'll be solving one question from this formula, other question by basic first formula. Then this third expression written, it is applicable for any polygon whose vertices are given, points are taken in a cyclic order, whose coordinates are given. Just see the question. x1, y1, we write the values as x1, y1, x2, y2, x3, y3 up to xn, yn. It has n vertices. It's an n-side polygon. And then we repeat the first coordinate, that is x1, y1. And as we solve, it's half x1 into y2 minus x2 into y1 plus x2 into y3 minus x3 into y2, and so on, till in the last we get xn into y1 minus x1 into yn. We can find area of any polygon, it's triangle, square, pentagon, hexagon, if we had coordinates. What we have to consider? We have to take coordinates in a cyclic order one by one, and then we can find the area. If area is coming as positive, it's perfectly fine. If it is negative, we make it positive, because area cannot be negative. This is applicable to any polygon whose vertices are given. So for triangle, we can use the first formula or second expression or the third expression also. But only point to remember in third, you write all the coordinates and then repeat the first coordinate and solve. Same expression comes out. If you apply this third expression for triangle also, you will get the same result what is written here. I hope this is clear. Now let's move to certain questions. In case the area is calculated as negative, we will consider the positive sign. This we discussed. If the area of a triangle with given three vertices comes out to be a 0, important point. If the area of a triangle with three given vertices, A, B and C, comes out to be 0, then the 3 points are collinear. Collinear means they lie on the same straight line. That is, they lie on the same straight line. Most important point. We need to check whether 3 points are collinear or not. We find the area of a triangle found by these 3 points as vertices. If it comes out to be 0, then points are collinear, if they're in a straight line. This is also one of the check of collinear points. Let's move to certain questions. We'll using these results. We'll solving area by finding area by formula 1, formula 2 also, as well as formula 3 also. Then question number 9 of your handout says the points 2, 3, 1, minus 2 and minus k, k are collinear. That is, they lie on a straight line. Then you have to find the value of k. So since to check collinearity, we just learned only one concept till now, that is area found by these three vertices should be equal to 0. Let's apply. The point 2, 3, 1 minus 2 and minus k, k are collinear. They lie on the same straight line. So we can safely say these 3 points, then the area of the triangle with these 3 points as vertices comes out to be 0. What we require? We require to find the value of k. K value is unknown to us. And third point coordinate, first is x coordinate is minus k and second y coordinate is k. If k comes out to be negative, then sign changes. But logically, we take minus k and k. Now, we apply this formula. Half x1 bracket y2 minus y3 plus x2 bracket y3 minus y1 plus x3 bracket y1 minus y2. Here x1, y1, x2, y2, x3, y3 are the points. So just keep in mind, if you are taking one point as x1 x coordinate, then the corresponding y coordinate is y1. This has to be remembered. If we apply this, it says area equal to half x1 is 2, then it is y2 minus y3 is minus 2 minus k, plus 1, that is x2, then y3 is k minus 3, plus x3 which is minus k, we are putting with sign, then y3 x1 minus x2, 3 minus of minus 2, just check 3 minus of minus 2. So it becomes half remains as it is, minus 4 minus 2k plus k minus 3, and 3 minus and of minus 2 becomes 5, but it's minus k outside, so it becomes minus k. Now this becomes half, minus 5k and minus 2k becomes minus 5k minus 2k minus 7k, but plus k is also there, so it becomes minus 6k, and minus 4 in minus 3 becomes minus 7. Now we know this should be equal to 0. Why 0? Because given points are collinear points. So half minus 7 minus 6k equal to 0. So we can safely say k is equal to minus 7 by 6. Minus 7 by 6. We have to check the options which choice it satisfies. Choice number D. Minus 7 by 6 is the correct answer. Which choice it satisfies? Choice number D. I hope this is clear. We use the very first basic formula for area of a triangle. Coordinates are given and then it says they're collinear points. We have to find the value of k. So we just put the value in the formula and get our result, value of k as, lastly we get half minus 7 minus 6k equal to 0. So we can safely say k is equal to minus 7 by 6. I hope this is clear. Moving to question 8. If the area formed by the triangle minus 1, 3, first coordinate, k comma minus 1 and 5 comma 1 is 10 square units. What we had just learned just now, that whenever we take value of area from a question, we take both plus as well as minus, because triangle can be flipped in two directions. If there is a base and a coordinate is above, it may be below also. So if the area formed by the triangle minus 1 comma 3 comma k comma minus 1 comma 5 comma 1 is 10 square units, area is 10 square units, then value of k can be. Now question is asking for a value of k can be, a possibility. So let's see. Let the triangle with the given vertices be ABC, where a coordinate is minus 1 comma 3, b coordinate is k comma minus 1 and c coordinate is 5 comma 1. That's the basic notation. We assume that these points are ABC. Now we wish to find the value of k, and maybe we are getting more than one values. Question is asking for a specific value. It's not asking for a specific, can be. So we have to select which value can be the possible case. Now let the triangle with vertices be ABC. Perfectly right. Then given the area of the triangle is 10 square units, that is given, and we know formula for area of a triangle with 3 vertices given as a equal to half x1 bracket y2 minus y3 plus x2 y3 minus y1 plus x3 y1 minus y2. These are the basic values are given. Now let's substitute these coordinates into this formula. So what we get? Area equal to half minus 1, then minus 1 and minus 1 becomes minus 2 plus k is x2, b is x2 y2, then 1 minus 3 becomes minus 2, we directly written, plus 5, that is x3, c coordinate is x3 y3, 5 into 3 minus of minus 1 becomes 4. Now this is given as 10. We had put a modulus sign. This is given as 10 because area is always positive. On solving this further, we get half, that is 2 minus 2k plus 20 is equal to 10. Half is outside the modulus sign, then 2 minus 2k plus 20 equal to 10. Why did we put modulus? Because area is always positive. then it comes out to be 22 minus 2k by 2 is 11 minus k inside the modulus equal to plus minus. If we remove the modulus, it becomes plus minus 10. We remove the modulus, it becomes 11 minus k is equal to 10, or 11 minus k is equal to minus 10. Once it is modulus, it is positive. So it is only 10. But 11 minus k is equal to 10, or 11 minus k is equal to minus 10. We have to consider both the values. So first value gives us k equal to 11 minus 10, that is 1. And second gives 11 plus 10, k equal to 21. The question is asking for which of the following can be a value. Can be a value means it can be 1, it can be 21, can be a value. So k can be 1 or k can be 21. But 1 is not in the choices. Minus 1 was there, 1 was not in the choices. Choice given as k equal to 21 matches with us. So we can safely say k can be 1 but not in the choice. K equal to 21. So we take our answer as k, therefore k is equal to 21. He doesn't have any choice. He's asking can be possibility. If we asked all the possible values of k, then my answer would have been 1 or 21. Or a multiple type of choice question would have been given. But in this case, only 21 is in the option. So we can safely say value of k comes out to be 21. So our choice comes out to be choice A. I hope this is clear. Moving further. Question number 7. If the midpoints of the sides of a triangle are 3, 2, 5, 3 and 4, 1, then the area of the triangle in square units is to be found. Now we know the midpoints, coordinates of midpoint. We assume let the given triangle be ABC, the area which is to be found, and PQR are the midpoints of the sides AB. P divides AB into two equal parts. AP is equal to PB. Q divides BC into two equal parts. BQ is equal to QC. And coordinate of Q are 4, 1. Coordinate of P are 3, 2. And coordinate of R are 5, 3. Its midpoint. And that is CR is equal to RA. Now one method is you assume the coordinates of the points A, B and C as x1, y1, x2, y2 and x3, y3 and apply the midpoint formula. That's indirectly a section formula with ratio as 1:1 and then find the coordinates of A, B and C and then use any of the formula written before and find the area of the triangle. If the value is positive, that's your answer. If value is coming negative, make it as positive because area is always positive. That's one approach. Other approach is let's find the area of the triangle PQR because we know the vertices of PQR. We can directly find the area of the triangle. Now remember one point. The triangle obtained by joining the midpoints of the three sides of any triangle, its area is 1/4 of the area of the whole triangle. Repeating it again, if we join the midpoints of three sides of a triangle, then the area of this new triangle obtained, which is shown with red in this figure, is 1/4 of the bigger triangle ABC. Now, if we find the area of PQR, this is 1/4 of ABC. So just to find the value of ABC, area of ABC, we multiply area of PQR by 4 times. That is area of a triangle PQR is 4, original triangle ABC is 4 times the area of the triangle formed by joining its midpoints. Now please remember an additional result here. Whenever you join the midpoints of three sides of a triangle, the four triangle as shown APR, BPQ, CQR and PQR all are of equal area. So even if we ask the question what is the area of APR, it's as good as equal to PQR because we have obtained the triangle by joining the midpoints. Please remember, whenever you join the midpoints, all the four triangles shown are equal in area. So let's find the area of the triangle PQR. And what the area we get PQR, we multiply it by 4 to get the area of the whole triangle ABC. Now area of a triangle is 4 times the area of the triangle found by joining its midpoints. Let's use this formula. Area is equal to half x1 minus x2, y1 minus y2, x2 minus x3, y2 minus y3. Let's assume x1 y1 as 3 comma 2, x2 y2 as 4 comma 1 and x3 y3 as 5 comma 3. So x1 minus x2 is 3 minus 4 and x2 minus x3 is 4 minus 5. y1 minus y2 is 2 minus 1 and y2 minus y3 is 1 minus 3. We just substitute the values. You can take x1 y1 in any order. You can take x1 y1 as q also. Area comes out to be the same. But make sure x1 corresponding y coordinate is y1, x2 corresponding y coordinate is y2, and so on. So on further solving this expression, it becomes half. 3 minus 4 is minus 1, 4 minus 5 is minus 1, 2 minus 1 is 1, 1 minus 3 is minus 2. So we multiply them, it becomes half. Minus 1 into minus 2 minus 1 into minus 1. Just see, minus 1 into minus 2, as we solve the determinant, then minus 1 into minus 1. So this becomes minus minus, when you multiply it becomes plus. So this becomes half 2 and minus 1 into minus 1 is again plus 1. That is 1 into minus 1 is minus 1, but minus sign is there. So it becomes plus 1. So it comes out to be 3 by 2. That is 3 by 2 square units. Area of this triangle is 3 by 2 square units. Now this is the area of PQR. We are supposed to find the area of the triangle ABC, whole triangle. So area of the whole triangle can be obtained by multiplying area of PQR by 4. That is, we multiply 3 by 2 into 4. 4 into 3 by 2 becomes 6. 6 square units. It's given an option. So our answer is choice C is our answer. Please keep in mind, whenever you are joining the midpoints of a triangle, all the three sides, and obtain a new triangle, then its area is 1/4 of the bigger triangle. In this case, if we moved by first approach, that is, we calculate the coordinates of A, B and C and then found the area, you can cross check it at yourself. It comes out to be the same. So it saves some of our times. I hope this is clear. We just found the area of the triangle by using the second expression. We have written PQR and then multiplied by 4. We get the area of the bigger triangle. Clear? Question number 17th. It says the points A, B, C are given are the vertices of a right angle triangle, isosceles obtuse angle triangle, an obtuse angle triangle, and acute angle triangle. What we do? We simply draw the triangle. Let's A 2 4, B 2 6, and C 2 plus root 3 comma 5. This is our triangle. We know the distance formula till now, we have used it. So let's try to first figure out the length of the sides. Now A, B, both x coordinate are same, 2, 2. So 2 minus 2 becomes 0. We are applying the distance formula, under root of x2 minus x1 ka whole square plus y2 minus y1 ka whole square. First we find the length of the three sides and then see which type of triangle does it this fits in. So AB comes out to be 2 minus 2 is 0 plus 4 minus 6 is minus 2. Now minus 2 minus 2 is 0, minus 2 whole square is 4, which square root comes out to be 2. We can say length of AB is 2 square units. Length of AB is 2 square units. Now suppose we find the length of BC. Let's solve. C coordinates are irrational, 2 plus root 3. So 2 minus root 3. 2 and 2 cancel out. Minus root 3 square is 3. And 6 minus 5, that is 1 ka square is 1. So 3 plus 1 comes out to be 4. 4 square root is 2. So can we say length of BC also comes out to be 2? Now we have length of AB as 2, length of BC as 2. Two sides of a triangle are equal. So it's an isosceles triangle maybe? Maybe. We have to find the third side also to get the exact picture. Two sides are equal. AB is 2 and BC is also 2. Let's go for length of AC. Yes, CA. It's 2 plus root 3 minus 2. That is root 3. Root 3 square is 3. Plus 5 minus 4 is 1. 1 square is 1. 3 plus 1, 4 in square root. So square root of 4 is 2. We take positive sign because length cannot be negative. So we get CA also. Now in a triangle, if all the three sides are equal, the triangle is called as an equilateral triangle. Equilateral triangle, all three sides are equal and all angles are 60 degree. So we simply say hence the triangle is an equilateral triangle, and in an equilateral triangle all its angles are 60 degree, that is acute angles. So all angles are 60 degree. Let's check the option. Can we mark option A, right angle triangle? Absolutely not. Right angle triangle, one angle is 90 degree and sum of other two is 90 degree. In our case, all angles are 60 degree. An isosceles obtuse angle triangle. Obtuse angle triangle means an angle is more than 90 degree. But we have all angle less than 90 degree. So obtuse angle doesn't fit in. An obtuse angle triangle, C option goes out. Now B and C both goes out, A also goes out. Option doesn't say an equilateral triangle, but option says an acute angle triangle. An acute angle triangle in which all the angles are less than 90 degree. Exactly one angle can be 90 or one angle can be more than 90. All angle can be less than 90. A simple example is equilateral triangle. So if we carefully observe, options are beautifully set. It's not showing an equilateral triangle. Right angle triangle you straight away ruled out. Obtuse angle triangle also ruled out. So we are left with only one choice. That is choice number D. Fourth choice. Now choice D says to us that it's an acute angle triangle. Had equilateral triangle would have been given in the first option, we would haven't gone to the other options also. But since equilateral is not given in the options and 60 degree angle we got, so it's an acute angle triangle. So we mark answer as choice D. I hope this is clear. Yes. Moving further. Clear. The midpoints of side PQ and PR of a triangle PQR are -3, -4 and -7, -7 respectively. PQR midpoints are of PQ and PR are given as -3, -4 and -7, -7. You have to find the length of QR. QR is the length of one side of the triangle. Okay, let's draw the diagram if possible. We draw this diagram. We take PQR where midpoints are -3, -4 and -7, -7. Now these both the coordinates are in the third quadrant as x coordinate and y coordinate both are negative. So the midpoints of the side PQ and PR of a triangle are -3, -4 and -7, -7 respectively. Then the length of QR is, you have to find the length. Now I remember one theorem, it says a line joining midpoints of two sides of a triangle is parallel to the third side in half of it. Any line joining the midpoints of two sides of a triangle is parallel to the third side in half of it. So the line joining the midpoints of side PQ and PR is parallel to QR and half of the third side, which in this case is QR. Our aim is to find the length of the QR. So let's find the length of this line segment whose end coordinates are given as -3, -4 and -7, -7 by using the distance formula. This is half of QR. So we can safely find the length of QR. What does the length of QR come for? Just double of this. -3 -4 and -7 -7. Just double of this is the length of QR. Now QR by 2. That is the length of this segment. Now -3 minus of -7 becomes +7. So -3 plus 7 whole square plus -4 minus of -7 becomes +7. So -3 plus 7 whole square plus -4 plus 7 whole square root. This is half of QR. So -3 plus 7 is 4 and -4 plus 7 is 3. So it becomes 4 square plus 3 square. Now it says 4 square plus 3 square. 4 square is 60. 3 square is 9. 16 plus 9 is 25. 25 square root. It's square root of 25, which comes out to be 5. First option is 5 units. It may possible in hurry you may mark answer as 5. But answer is not 5. This is the length of the line joining the midpoints of side PQ and PR. First option deliberately has been put as option A as 5 units, but this is not my answer. So what my answer is? My answer is QR is double of this. So double of 5 is 10. Very simple. 5 into 2 becomes 10. So just check. Many times options are placed that you get an answer as value as 5 and this first option is 5. You mark 5 without thinking about. He is asking length of QR, not half of QR. So my answer comes out to be 10 units. So choice is C. I hope this is clear. Sure. Very simple statement we use. The line joining the midpoints of side PQ and PR. Or we can say the line joining the midpoints of any two sides of a triangle. Now that line, new line obtained, is parallel and half of the third side. I hope this is clear. Now moving to next question. Question 3. It says if 2, 5 and 7, 0 are the two diagonally opposite vertices of a square. 2, 5 and 7, 0 are the two diagonally opposite vertices of a square, then the area of the square in units. Area of the square is actually side square. And if side is known, diagonal is root 2 times of side. This is the only thing. Now one thing can be done. We can find the length of the diagonal. And from length of the diagonal, we can find the length of the side of the square. And then get the value of the area of the square. If 2, 5 and 7, 0 are the two diagonally opposite vertices of a square, then the area of the square. I'm just using a basic property. Side of a square is known, so area is side square. And diagonal is known, then diagonal is root 2 times of side. Length of the diagonal of a square of side A. Length of the diagonal of a square of side A, assume, is root 2 times of A. This we just discussed. Length of the diagonal of a square of side A is under root 2 times of A. Here we can apply the distance formula and get the length of the diagonal. Now, distance formula says x2 minus x1 ka whole square plus y2 minus y1 ka whole square. It's 2 minus 7 ka whole square plus 5 minus 0 ka whole square. So 2 minus 7 is minus 5. Minus 5 square is 25. And 5 minus 0 is 5. 5 square is again 25. So this comes out to be 25 plus 25, that is 50. 50 is nothing but 25 into 2. It's in square root. Root 50. That is 5 root 2. Now I got by applying the distance formula. So we are using distance formula. Endpoints, it can also be said that what is the length of the distance line with endpoints at 2, 5 and 7, 0. We have done the same thing. What additional? It uses a concept called square, a basic square. Side is A, the diagonal is A root 2. Length of the diagonal of a square of side A is root 2A. So 2 minus 7 whole square plus 5 minus 0 ka whole square. 2 minus 7 is minus 5. Minus 5 square is 25. Plus 5 minus 0 ka whole square is again 25. 25 plus 25 becomes 50. So 50 square root 50 is 25 into 2. 25 ka 5 comes out. So it becomes 5 root 2. This is length of the diagonal of a square. Can you see if diagonal is a root 2 is equal to 5 root 2? So value of a is 5 units. Perfectly right. Value of a is 5 units. Whatever the length unit may be, a comes out to be 5 units. Further, area of a square is side square. Side we found as 5. So area of a square is side square, which is 5 square. 5 square is 25. 5 square is 25 square units. So we look at the choices. First option says 50. We had got under root of 50. Somehow if in running in a speed, if we forget about root, we can mark answer as 50, which is wrong. Area of the square is 5 square. That is 25 square units. So if we look at the choices, which option do we have? We have option B as our answer. Am I clear? Sure. So we use distance formula in this case. And from distance formula, we get the length of the diagonal. Diagonal is 5 root 2. And if side is A, it is A root 2. So A root 2 is equal to 5 root 2. So value of A comes out to be 5. Then we find the area of the square, which is 5 square. That is 25 square units. Question number 10th. This question is to be done without pencil if you know a basic concept, basic statement. So we're not solving this. We'll be going through statements. I'm reading the question. If 2 comma 2 and minus 2 comma minus 2, 2 comma 2 and minus 2 comma minus 2 are the two vertices of an equilateral triangle, then the third vertex can possibly is. The question is not asking for exact, can possibly. It may be two cases. One point may be above the join of these and second point may be below the join of these points. One simple method is you draw a triangle, then take two vertices 2, 2 and minus 2 and third coordinate as AB, which you require to found. Let's recall some of the basic properties of equilateral triangles. All angles are 60 degree. We have just saw it's an acute angle triangle and all sides are equal. We can found the length of the line one side of a triangle. That is, all the three sides can be automatically found out. It is 2 minus of minus 2, that is 2 plus 2, 4 ka square plus again 4 ka square. So it comes out to be 4 root 2. 2 minus of minus 2, 4 square plus 4 square, 2 into 4 square, that comes out to be 4 root 2. Had the question been asked what is the length of the side of the equilateral triangle, our job is done. But this is asking for something else. If 2 comma 2 and minus 2 comma minus 2 are two vertices of a triangle, then the third vertex can possibly be. Let's move what we can do. It says the vertices of an equilateral triangle. Please remember this point, most important point. The vertices of an equilateral triangle should include at least one point with irrational number as coordinates. Most important point. It's a hardly 5-second question if you had know this statement. If 2 comma 2 and minus 2 comma minus 2 are two vertices of an equilateral triangle, then the third vertex can possibly be. And what statement is saying? I am reading it again word by word. The vertices of an equilateral triangle should include. The vertices of an equilateral triangle should include at least one point. Two vertices we already know. 2 comma 2 and minus 2 comma minus 2. Both the vertices have rational coordinates. 2 and minus 2 are rational numbers. The vertices of an equilateral triangle should include at least one point with irrational number as coordinate. That means third vertex has to be the one whose coordinates are irrational to form an equilateral triangle. That's a basic statement we have. If you remember this, just scan the options. That means third vertex coordinates are irrational. 3, 1, not possible. Both the coordinates are rational. 1 comma 4 not possible, both the coordinates are rational. Minus 2 comma 4 not possible, both the coordinates are rational. So it's D option, minus 2 comma root 3, 2 comma root 3. Just imagine, you start solving the question by assuming third, then apply a formula for different formulas you start applying, and that's not a point solving. Just statement has to be remembered. The vertices, I'm repeating it again, of an equilateral triangle should include at least one point with irrational number as coordinates. So if we go with this, we had only one choice, that is with irrational number as coordinates, that is choice D. I hope this is clear. Now if we go back, what we have learned in this particular segment, we have learned coordinate axis, then we had gone for distance formula, then we had gone for section formula, and we have done both the cases, section formula internal also as well as external division also. Whenever we supposed to find the ratio, we apply the formula for internal. If signs comes out to be positive, our assumption was correct. If it comes out to be negative, our assumption says it's a external division. And then we go for area of a triangle. We had learned two formulas for area of a triangle. Then we had gone for one general formula which can be applied to any of the polygons. That's general formula. We can apply to any of the polygons. Then next, what we had done, then we done condition for collinearity. Collinear points are there. Collinear points, how do we found? 3 points are given to be collinear. I'm just revising. 3 points are given as collinears. We found area of the triangle by these, found by the triangle by taking these points as vertices. If the area comes out to be 0, then also it's a point of collinear. There is one more condition to check collinearity. If 3 points ABC are given, if you found the distance between the points AB, BC and AC, find all the three distance possible. If sum of two distance comes out equal to the third distance, then also we can say the points are collinear. This completes the part 1 of this class. In the next class, we'll be learning different segments. So these questions which we have done, revise them and bring the same handout in the next class, that is coordinate part 2. I hope all this clear. Sure. Thank you. Thanks.